What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be taking a look at Cable, wrapping up the Zabu wave. Excited about this one. Let's check it out.
I'm being erased, I'm being replaced. Counter-culture's in your face. Trying to pretend that you want it to end. I'd rather be a drinking with my friends. When we go out, you'll never see us again.
As promised, today we'll be taking a look at Cable. He's finally arrived. I can finally finish Zabu. That's good stuff. Let's see what we've got going on here. Good looking figure here. You've got some accessories, 2 weapons, extra set of hands. Your Build-A-Figure piece. Cable looking good in there. Marvel Legends series. Marvel's Cable. Flip it to the side. There's a nice comic image there. Flip it to the back. There's your larger image. Looks pretty good. I like that. That's what you need to complete the wave, and that's where we are. There's your important information and your blurb. Cable travels back through time from a dystopian future to help the X-Men as an enhanced telekinetic mutant. There's your image again. Let's get him out of the box. Fresh out of the box, my most anticipated figure of this entire wave. A good wave. Lots to like in it. But this was the one that I was most looking forward to, and of course it was the last one to arrive, right? Why wouldn't it be the first? But he's here now. We'll take a look at him, see what's going on with the figure, talk about some good things, some bad things, and just enjoy adding a new figure to the collection. Moving in closer, we can get a good look at this face sculpt, and it's certainly the highlight of this wave, right? I like a lot going on in this wave, but this right here, I mean, the amount of detail in there, you've got the great like 5 o'clock shadow going on, you've got the damaged eye, you can get a nice view of like the pupil in there, the effect eye. I'm glad that they went back to these instead of just doing the painted on, so that certainly looks good. Plain white hair throughout, so maybe a little bit of dark wash over there could have highlighted that a little bit better, but that is certainly a very nice looking face sculpt. For your hands, you do get an open sort of grabbing hand and a closed fist, and of course you get your set of trigger fingers because it's Cable. He's got guns. He needs trigger fingers. When removing the hands, just keep in mind that these are a separate piece. As far as the articulation goes, the head, he will look down all the way to the chest. Chin will touch the chest. He will look up pretty much all the way, so you get really good movement back and forth there. Little bit of rock, and then of course you can go all the way around. Arms will rotate all the way around. Arm will go out to about there. You do have your upper bicep cut, and you are double jointed pinless at the elbow. Big biceps, so if you want to get that back joint up, you're just going to have to wiggle it just a little bit more, but you definitely get a good amount of movement there. Nothing at the forearm, and then your hinge and swivel at the wrist. The trigger fingers do give you that sort of vertical hinge on that set of wrists. Ab crunch, basic ab crunch and hip swivel. Not a significant amount of gap. I know the main complaint for a lot of people is that this yellow part does go down through there, but honestly, that doesn't bother me in the slightest. The belt lines up very nicely with that, so I'm not bothered by that one bit. Leg will kick out to about there. Back to about there. And then you're going out to there. Upper thigh cut. Of course, these bands for the ammo holsters are nice to cover those, so you're not going to see that cut. I like that. Double jointed pinless at the knee. Knee pad does a nice job in there covering up. You do have some yellow paint over this portion of the leg, so over time that may wear down, but for now it looks pretty good. You do have your boot cut and then your hinge and swivel down at the ankle. No significant gaps in the back either. Over here, you do have your pinned arm, which certainly a point of contention, odd, but I am not one that's super bothered by that. when the pins match, right? So if it's a different color, that's a little bit bothersome, but looks all pretty decent there. For your weapons, you do get these guns. We've seen these before. They are just painted a little bit differently. I would have liked to have seen a bigger gun with Cable, but I've got plenty to choose from, so I'll certainly be swapping out that. I'm not going to use these for him in my display. For your size comparison, here is the Zabu Cable backed up against your Sasquatch Cable. You can see the new cable is a little bit shorter than the Sasquatch one. That's fine. I'm not bothered by that. I just find it a little bit curious. So pretty decent height-wise. I, for one, am looking forward how this is going to mix into the display. I like the Sasquatch Wave Cable because there's a lot more going on with it, but aesthetically, like this costume for the Zabu Wave Cable, it has a little bit more of that nostalgia feel, like whether you're, Marvel versus Capcom or the animated series or comics, like this, the blue and yellow suit is just something that looks really good. A quick head swap of these two. You can see the heads certainly are interchangeable. You can use either on whichever cable you prefer. Skin tones are a little bit different, the Sasquatch one being just a little bit darker than the Zabu. Not something that's super noticeable, but just something to point out. And then here is the Zabu head on your Juggernaut Wave Cable. This one I think actually looks pretty good. I like the way it works out. Tones seem to be pretty close, much closer than the other two. So absolutely an option for you. And lastly, here is your Zabu Wave Cable head on Strife. This is the Strife from the 5-pack, but you could certainly work it on either Strife figure. Looks pretty good. Alright folks, well there you have it. There is your Zabu Wave Cable, the figure I was waiting for the longest in this wave and the one that I wanted the most out of the wave. So happy to have it, glad to get a look at it in hand. For those of you still waiting, keep anticipating. It is a great looking figure. It's going to look nice on the shelf. A couple of things, of course I would rather it look more like the image that I have here on the box. Like the blue arm is fine, but having the exposed arm I think would look a little bit better. Although that is exactly how the other two cables came out before. So maybe we're trying something a little bit different here. In addition to that, I do like the way like the brown accessories work on there. So some of your ammo pouches, your gloves in that brown, just to contrast the yellow. That looks really good and something that would have certainly been a highlight on this figure. Again, not a big deal. The blue and yellow is a very classic, nice X-Men look, so it's going to look good on the shelf either way. I think are the only things I can think of that really are things I would opt for changes. At the end of the day, though, it's a nice looking figure. The one thing that a lot of people are complaining about doesn't bother me. I'm okay with it. Think it will still look nice. It's not going to be something that really detracts from the figure at all. So I'm cool with it. That's the 2 cents. Do what you want with that information. I certainly appreciate you for checking out the video, hanging out this long if you have. Of course, you can always find me on any of these socials down here. Most importantly, though, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe below. And until next time, take it easy.